everybody, Lord Tremendous here. Got another battle report here for you. It's a 2,000 point Kings of War battle report, my third one. 'Tis I, Lord Tremendous of the Orcs, versus Gnome Runner of the Ratkin. Like I said, we're getting into it at the store. A lot of people are getting armies together. I believe I saw a dwarf army the other day, which is exciting. So yeah, expect to see a lot more battle reports eventually with the holidays and work and everything like that. It's kind of hard for me to get games, and right now I'm way out of state for my job. I won't even be back for a while, so as soon as everything settles back down and the holidays are all past and everything, I will definitely try to get more games in. But for now, here's what I got. This is the same list that I played last game, because it's a game I played right after the last game. I just didn't put it out right away because I wanted to space them, because like I said, kind of running out of games. So it's a good one. It's a lot of fun. I only learned a little bit from my last game, so sit back, relax, and get ready to see all the mistakes I make. Oh yeah. Here's my list, Clan Tremendous. I have a God Speaker with Heal and Inspiring Talisman. I've got a Flagger with the Healing Charm, and then I've got another God Speaker with Heal and Craig Pognon's Scrying Gem of Zelak, or whatever. Just basically, it makes it so that my opponent has to deploy more units in than right before I do, I guess, which is really cool. Then I have an Axe Horde of 40 guys with Dwarven Ale. I know my items suck. I know everybody's got items. I haven't changed up the list yet, obviously. I've got a Morax Regiment of 20 guys with the Blessing of the Gods. I got a Gore Riders Regiment of 10 guys with the Chant of Hate. A Troll Horde of 6 guys with the Helm of Confidence. And another Troll Horde of 6 guys with the Brew of Sharpness. Then I've got my chaff units. I've got 3 units of Orcling regiments of 3 guys each, or however you want to see them. They're in the front there. And they're my speed bump unit. They're the ones that you're supposed to destroy so the bigger guys can run over and slam into you. And then I've got a war drum, which is the model on the bottom right there. And that's just to make all my guys harder to break, which I really, really like. Then I took some allies because I wanted to try out some Forces of Nature guys, and I have a Naiad Heart Piercer Regiment of 20 guys with the Bruniki Idness, and then I've got a Hydra because I just really like the idea of having a Hydra. The rules are cool if I can get somebody to attack him and not kill him. That's going to do it for my list. I'm going to play some music, post my opponent's list. Feel free to pause it whenever you like to see what he took. Deployment, and so he deployed, I think, 3 or 4 units before I had to deploy anything. And in the top right, he put those 2 units of gunners and then a little unit of slaves, I think they are. And so I decided to put all my stuff on the left side. I was going to use the house to block line of sight so he couldn't bring those psycho guns to bear against me and just start doing a ton of damage right off the bat. I'd like to be, in the combat with him before he could shoot me. So that's why I'm all the way over to the left, not utilizing the right side of the table at all. I have my Hydra up front because I want to use him as a screen for the trolls. I want him to have to attack the Hydra. I like the idea. The more wounds that the Hydra has on him, the more attacks he gets, so why not, right? I've got my Gore Riders and my Morax on the right side there with a Godseeker and the Orcling Regiment right there, and the Orcling Regiment's going to screen while the Gore Riders and the Morax unit come forward and just attack anything that comes around this side of the house. I'm hoping that the house blocks a lot of his charges. We'll see. And then I've got my big horde brick of axe with a unit of orclings in front of them on the left side there, left center, with another. I'm sorry, my flaggers on the right side. My with a Godseeker in the middle, the war drums in the back there, and on the left there behind the axe horde is my Godseeker with the inspiring talisman. I've got a unit of trolls right there, and I screwed up where I placed my trolls. I should have put the other unit there because the unit on the left there is the one with the reroll nerve checks or route checks no matter what. So that was stupid on my part, but I'm going to make a lot of stupid mistakes. It's going to happen. There's an Orcling regiment in front of them, just a screen for them, and then I've got the useless unit of heart piercers on the left flank because I'm hoping to see if they're any good, if maybe it was just a fluke last game or not. That's it for deployment. Here's top one after movement, and we're playing orcs, we're pretty one-dimensional, so I fired forward. Pretty much everything marched forward. And yeah, that's where everything's at. Since everything advanced, went as far forward as it possibly could for the most part, there's no shooting, no magic, or combat. So, here's bottom one after movement. So my opponent realizes at this point that his gunners are pretty much completely out of place, so he starts moving them a little bit over there on the right flank. The unit of slaves comes to screen them just in case I have something up my sleeve, which I don't. And the rest of his stuff kind of comes to meet me in the middle. Mainly slaves, but duh, why wouldn't he? Really, that's it. He just kind of readjusts, comes forward a little bit, but none of my big stuff can really attack any of his big stuff. I suppose I could send my Orclings and my Gore Riders into a slave horde in front of me, which honestly sounds pretty good, but we'll see what I choose to do, because I am a little stupid at this game. Very stupid at this game, so... That's it for his movement. During the shooting phase, one of his death wheels or whatever I think both of them actually shoot at the heart piercers and do 3, 6, 9, 10, 11 wounds to them because they're just garbage. And yeah, you can guess what happens with them. They run away. It doesn't help that my opponent rolled boxcars, as you can see, but yeah, they run away. Next up, I think his character is able to hit my Orcling unit right there in the middle, or I'm sorry, over on the left there with a lightning bolt, and he does 3 points of damage to them with that, which kind of sucks. And he didn't roll boxcars on this one, but he rolled high enough that they ran away. So that sucks, but I'd rather them shoot off the Orclings than anything important. Not that I'm in great position to capitalize on that. And then on this side of the table, I believe his other warlock in the top middle there fires a lightning bolt at the Orclings in the center, does 2 wounds to him, but it's not enough to make him run away. They actually stay. And that made me feel good. So good. With no combat, we go over here to top of 2 after movement, and we go in. My Hydra goes in after the, the slave unit that's in front of him there. The trolls behind him charge into the weapon shooty team guy that was in front of the Hydra who's trying to block with it, but you just kind of pivot on the spot and then charge in, so I was able to get past him. My Gore Riders and the Orclings charge into the slaves in front of him, because I figure why the hell not, and everything else moves up, daring these things to charge me. You're going to notice on the left side the water feature. We used the terrain wrong, and we didn't realize it until the shooting phase of this turn. I shouldn't have been able to advance through the water. I should have just only been able to walk normally through it. Completely our fault. Neither of us realized. In fact, my opponent realized it in the shooting phase of this turn. So we pretty much ignore the water feature for the rest of the game. It doesn't do anything, it doesn't help or anything. We screwed up. So if you do notice that, good eye, just consider the water feature not on the table. I leave it on there for aesthetics only, because since we screwed it up, we just kind of kept going with it the way it was. That's it for my movement. So I play orcs. There ain't no shooting, no magic right now. We go straight into combat. And my Hydra, he's hindered because he had to go through the forest, but he's only got 5 attacks, 2 wounds. I'm able to do 2 wounds to the unit. Probably shouldn't have sent him in by himself, but I'm learning, I'm having fun, and hey, I got to throw dice at rats. I choose to believe that 2 of them died. Luckily, my trolls right here with the Brew of Sharpness are able to put 11 wounds through on that little weapons team guy. So at least one of my units is able, it has a little bit of bloodthirst in them, you know? Over here, the combined attacks of my Gore Riders and my Orclings do 13 wounds to this unit. Didn't roll great, I gotta be honest, but I really enjoyed it. Little Orcling guys are crazy. We did the nerve tests a little at the end of the turn because, again, we're still learning. And the weapons team that the trolls were up against evaporates, and all I can really do is kind of shift them around a little bit just in case I get a nice shot off them because I'm worried they're going to flank charge my Hydra. But that's the position they end up in afterwards. And then, even though I only did 2 wounds, the slave unit is disrupted or something like that, wavered this turn, so they're not going to be able to countercharge me next turn. That is pretty cool. I gotta say, I'm not upset about that at all. That brings us over here to bottom of 2 after movement. And as you can see on the right flank, the gunners and a unit of slaves starts making their way around the right flank there. I'm gonna have to divert something over to deal with them. I can't just let them get into my flank like that, because even though they're just slaves, he gets into my flank and it's all over. So I'm thinking the Morax are gonna have to go over there and deal with this unit, because I just don't like them. One of his units on the right side there, I think his other unit of 20 slaves slam into my Orclings, and that should be a pretty good fight. And then on the right there, a unit of, gosh, I don't even know. Something else charges into my Orclings and my Gora Riders over there. Probably the big unit of slaves. I'm sorry, it's a Horde unit of slaves. And they both charge back in because they want a little bit of revenge. And that's it. That's it for his movement. Everything else is kind of stuck. We hit up his shooting phase, and both of the death roller things fire at my trolls, doing 3, 6, 9, 10 points of damage. That concentrated fire is a son of a bitch. We roll the nerve check, and while they don't rout, they are wavered and they're disrupted, so they're not going to be able to do anything next turn, which really sucks. I needed them to charge. We go into combat, and the slaves are able to do 4 wounds to my Orclings, and that has a lot to do with the fact that they were disrupted. So that's awesome. They do survive, and you know what? I'm going to send them in next turn because I think it'd be a fun fight. This one isn't too bad. He does 5 wounds to the Gore Riders, which is a lot more than I thought he was going to, and he does 2 wounds to the Orclings. Both units stay. They're not wavered or disrupted or routed or anything like that. And you know what? Both units are going to try to kick the ever-loving crap out of them next turn. That brings us to top of 3 after movement, and there's a little bit, but for the most part it's a traffic jam right now. The Gore Riders and the Orclings slam back into the Horde of Slaves, the Trolls and the Hydra slam into the other Horde of Slaves, the Orclings charge into the 20-man brick of slaves that tried to kill him last turn, the Moraxes turn around to face the slaves that are coming around the right flank, my God Speakers move to keep in the pace, the War Drums move up to try to help everyone out, and that's really it. The trolls on the left side can't do anything. I mean, they could fall back or change their facing, but there's really no point, and that's really it for my movement. Starting off the magical shooting phase, my God Speaker is able to heal a lot of wounds off the trolls. Now, they did regen some, but my God Speaker helped as well, so instead of 10 wounds on him, there's only 2 left. Regen is super powerful when combined with heal. Over here, the other God Speaker, since he's surrounded by non-ally friendly units, he gets to throw a lot more dice at heal, and when I'm done, there's only 3 wounds on the Gore Riders, which should help keep them in this game a lot longer. Really liking the way heal works with the Orcs. That brings us into combat, and my Orclings attack the slaves, and I believe they do 5 wounds to them, which, considering they're Orclings versus slaves, I'm incredibly happy with. We did 1 more wound to them than they were able to do to us. Hell yeah. Up here, it is a spectacular flub fest. I am hindered, so I'm at -1 to hit, but still, the trolls were at normal to hit, and long story short, I did 6 wounds to this unit. They have a total of 8 on them right now. I was very upset. My dice failed me miserably. Over here, it's a lot better. The Orclings and the Gore Riders are able to put a total of 19 wounds on this unit, and in total, that's what they have. So, needless to say, when we go to their nerve check, it shouldn't be too hard to break them like the pigs they are. They run off, and instead of firing forward with my Orclings, I actually back them up. I don't know what I was thinking. Incredibly stupid move on my part, and I basically just gave my Gore Riders to my opponent. But I'm stupid and bad this game, so I'm going to get what I deserve, and that's it for this combat. That brings us to bottom of 3 after movement, and yeah, his psychopath group of rats slam right into my Gore Riders, and that's going to hurt. His gunners stay right where they're at because they can see the Morax, I believe. They can see something. They're going to shoot at him. His slaves come forward just a little bit, which I think puts him in range of my Moraxes, which is fine. And I think his slaves charge into the Trolls and Hydra. And the slaves on the left side were disrupted, so they didn't do anything this turn. And his death wheels pretty much stay right where they are. That's it for movement. We go into the shooting phase, and yeah, both of his death wheels, and I think his character fires a lightning bolt. Everything basically shoots at the Trolls again, and I'm at 3, 6, 9, 10, 11 wounds. Really glad that I got those heals and regens off last turn, or this unit would have been done for. More so than it probably already is. Thanks largely in part to regen and heal, they're just wavered again this turn, or disrupted. So they're not going to be able to do anything, but they're still on the table. The gun team over here fires at the Moraxes because they can see them, and I only take 2 damage, which isn't enough to make me do anything, which is great. And then we go into glorious combat. I don't remember exactly how many wounds he does to my Gore Riders, but I think it's 3, 6, 9, 10 or 11 wounds. As you can see, there's a small pile on the right side there of what he's done. On top of the 3 that's already on there, they're sitting on at least 14, so I'm in a lot of trouble here. I'm not happy. I have no idea what I was thinking when I didn't send the Orclings up. Ugh, just stupid. Oh, but yes, the dice gods pitied my stupidity, and as you can see, he rolled snake eyes for my nerve test. Pretty much the only thing he could have rolled to keep these guys there. So they stick around for yet another turn. There's a chance, people. There's a chance. Oh, that takes us over to the top of 4 after movement, and I take advantage of what I can get. My Trolls and Hydra go back into the slave horde in the middle. The Orclings go into the slave regiment on the left. The Riders and Orclings go into the shock troops, I think they are, on the right. And my Morax are not close enough to charge the slaves, so they move closer there. My Flagger moves into the middle there on the center in order to try to give everybody inspiring if they need it. My God Speaker on the right there is going to try to do everything he can to help out the Gore Riders. And on the left side there, the Axes run up to get right behind the Orclings that are fighting the slaves. And the other God Speaker moves over a little bit in order to try to get into the fight on the right, because I think that's where he's going to be needed more. But then I turn to face the Trolls so I can try to take some of those wounds off those guys, because they are disrupted again this turn, not routed. And that's it for my movement. So I did regen and heal my guys, but I forgot to take pictures of it. So the next picture I have is of combat. And my Orclings slam into these slaves, and I do 5 more wounds to them for a total of 10, which is enough to break them. I was really impressed with the Orclings. They literally took out another chaff unit. Outstanding, guys. I fire them forward just because I want to pull the charge, and let's see what happens. So we charge these rats again, and we're hindered again because they didn't charge me last turn. He wanted to shoot at these guys, and he ended up not doing it. Anyway, we put 5 wounds on him again. Yes, I'm hindered. Yes, I understand that. The Hydra hasn't been touched. I'm embarrassed. They have 13 wounds on him total. It's just not enough. It's frustrating, actually. Over here, we kick the crap out of this unit. I think 15 wounds are done to his shock troops by my Gore Riders and my Orclings. And while the Gore Riders did really good, the Orclings blew it out of the water. So I was super excited, like, oh my god, I might be able to break this unit. But the dice god said, no! No, you will not! You will not! And I rolled snake eyes. Oh, I could have wavered him, I could have disrupted him, I could have done anything else, but no. Karma, the ultimate equalizer. I owed him one, so it's cool, but damn! That would have been so much cooler had they broke. Oh well. That brings us to bottom of 4 after movement, and he comes in for his sweet, sweet revenge. His slaves, I do believe this time, charge into my Trolls and Hydra. Both of his Death Eater guys, Death Wheels, whatever they are, charge into my Axe Horde. I've been waiting for him to do that, to be perfectly honest. He wasn't super confident he'd be able to do anything, but at the same time, he wasn't super not confident about it, and we were more curious than anything else. What is Warlock, I think, charges into my Orclings, which is interesting. I'm curious to see what's going to happen there. And then on the right side, his Shock Troops charge into the Orclings and the Gore Riders, which I'm pretty sure are dead this turn. And then over there on the right side, really nothing happens. Everything stays put. So that's it for his movement. That takes us into our shooting phase, and his gunners on the hill over there fire at my war drums again. They fired at him last turn. I didn't get a picture, and he did 2 wounds to him. This turn he shot at him and did 1. They're fine. They don't break or anything like that. Over here, these gunners shoot at the Moraxes again, doing 2 more wounds to him, and they're fine as well. No worries on the nerve check. And that brings us into combat. The Death Wheel things combined do 5 wounds. They're much more dangerous out of combat. But yes, they do 5 wounds, and I'm perfectly fine. I pass my nerve check. Over here, the slaves don't do very well at all. They only do a single wound to my Trolls. He doesn't bother attacking the Hydra at all. And needless to say, my Trolls are perfectly fine. Over here, it's a dreadful mess. He does so many wounds to the Gore Riders, I have to use a dice to indicate 4 more. I ran out of tokens. And my Orclings are now sitting on 7 wounds, which is really, really bad. How many do the Gore Riders have on it? 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 19 wounds. So unless you roll Snake Eyes, the Gore Riders are gone. And pretty much same for the Orclings. But as luck would have it, he wavers the Orclings and rolls Snake Eyes again for the Gore Riders. Can you fucking believe it? Twice in a row, the Gore Riders should have been gone, and the dice gods go, no, Snake Eyes. I know it shouldn't be going like this. I know that unit should have been gone a turn ago, and he should be eating me alive right now. But that's what I love about these dice games. You know, the dice gods are fickle, evil beings. This is outstanding. Oh, what a game. And then over here, his Warlock bounces off the Orclings. He doesn't do anything to him, which means he's a dead man next turn. So here's top of 5, and I countercharge, basically. My Trolls, I wanted to charge his Death Roller, but I think the angle would have been a front charge, which sucks, so instead he just moved around the side. I also figured that my Axe unit, Horde unit, could handle the 2 Death Wheels. Maybe I should have sent the Trolls in, maybe not, I don't know, but, well, you'll see what happens in the end. The Hydra and the Trolls go back into the Slaves, the Orclings go into the Warlock, the Gore Riders go in all by themselves as Shock Troopers because the Orclings can't go in, and the Morax unit charges into the Slaves because I want to try to get a hold of his gunners and run up the side there and hopefully take them out. That is it for my movement. Everything else basically stays where it's at and is just running support rolls. As you can see in this picture, on the left there, my Trolls only have 3 wounds left on them, and that's because of regeneration. I rolled out of the box for 5s and 6s. During the shooting magic phase, I'm able to free up 3 wounds off the Axe unit, which leaves them with only 2, which is outstanding. And then we go into combat. No, I wasn't able to regen the wound off the other unit of Trolls, and I did heal a handful of wounds, I think 4 wounds off of my Gore Riders. Anyway, we go into combat over here, and I do split up some of my attacks, which is probably stupid. I think I do a total of 7 wounds to the Doom Wheel thing on the right side, and I think I do 1 wound on the wheel on the left. Neither of them are even wavered during the nerve check. Over here, I return the favor and bounce off his Warlock, doing nothing to him. I guess they're very well matched, very evenly matched. I don't know, pisses me off. Over here, I don't remember exactly how many wounds I did, but they're at 24 now, which should guarantee me the break during the nerve check. Don't know how great that is considering there's that shock unit right there, but damn it, I want the 60 or 100 points that this unit is worth. I've earned it. I do get my wish, and the unit disappears, and I send a Hydra forward with the hopes of them having to charge a Hydra and not the Trolls. Who knows? Maybe the Hydra will survive and be able to counterattack. time will tell. We go over here in this insane combat, and my Gore Riders knock it out of the park, doing somewhere... I mean, in total, I think he's got over 20-something wounds on this unit, which means as long as I don't roll Snake Eyes again, they should disappear. Well, thank all that are holy, I'm able to not roll Snake Eyes. The unit disappears, and I try to back up, but then I realize that I did a piss-poor job maneuvering my units, my support units behind him. I should have backed him off a little bit. I did not. So I couldn't back the Gore Riders up, and so that the Orclings would take this charge from his Blight unit or whatever. So yeah, they're actually lined up perfectly right next to each other, and that sucks. So yeah, again, piss poor playing on my part is going to lead me to a butt whooping. In this combat, my Morax unit is able to slip 18 wounds through onto slaves. These guys are good. These guys are really good. I kind of wish that they had gotten into the shock troops or something like that, but, you know, learning, it takes time and mistakes. The 18 wounds is more than enough to break that unit of slaves, and they run off, which was happy. I think I leave my guys right where they are because I plan on going after his gunners next turn, and they're well within range. And if he moves with them, he can't shoot, so awesome. Then here, very unimpressive, I do some damage. Again, I concentrate all my attacks on the guy on the wheel on the right, and it's not enough. I'm not able to even so much as waver the stupid thing. So, it is what it is. Next turn, I'm gonna have to deal with him. And that brings us to bottom of 5. His Blight unit slams into my Gore Riders and my Orclings, and at this point I'm like, well, I'm pretty sure my luck is done. His other unit of shock guys slam into the flank of my Hydra, and unless the Dice Gods are still on my team, I am super SOL here. His Warlock runs away from the Orclings because that's just a stalemate he doesn't want to be a part of anymore, to fire lightning bolts at whoever he's going to shoot at. And I believe his Death Wheels both go back into the Axe Horde, which is perfectly acceptable. Other than that, I don't think anything else really moves around. His other guys move around just slightly, but it's not a huge big deal. And for the most part, I think that's it for movement. In the magic shooting phase, his gunners open up on my Morax, doing another 2 wounds. I like the consistency. And then the gunners on the hill back there fire at my war drum, doing 4 more wounds to him, I believe, which is really bad. That was enough for my war drummers to just kind of be sick of trying to lay down a badass beat, and they run screaming for home. I guess I could understand that. The little Warlock guy over there on the right, he fires a lightning bolt at the trolls, doing a single wound, which isn't a big deal at all. And then we go into combat. Oh god. He puts a boatload of wounds on both the Orclings and on the Gore Riders. The Orclings now have 3, 6, 9, 10, or 11 wounds on them, which means they're going to break no matter what, unless you roll snakes. And the Gore Riders have 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 16 wounds on them, which means, again, unless he rolls snakes, I'm screwed. There is the inspiring roll affecting both units, but, well, I think my luck has run out. If I was any more right, I'd be going left. Needless to say, the Gore Riders and the Orclings obliterate, and I'm not upset about it at all. They did amazing this game. Total luck. Total luck. I'm well aware of that, but I'm very pleased with how it worked out. So my Hydra, this poor bastard, gets hit in the flank by a unit that is made to destroy flanks and just about anything else, takes 20 wounds. 20! Yeah, I think he took 60 attacks, so the fact that 20 wounds got through on him is kind of low rolling. But it's more than enough to destroy him, and that's sad. As there he goes, running off to obscurity, and the Horde Brick turns to face the trolls. It's not looking good for the home team. Over here, the troll unit is able to get a total of 10 wounds through on my Axe Horde, but they're perfectly fine. So, at least not everything ran away this turn. So here's top of 6. This has been a hell of a game, but it's top of 6, and I'm going for it. The Orclings and the Trolls charge the shock troops. I know they're going to be hindered, I know I'm screwed, but whatever, I'm going to try to have some fun. The Morax on the right there charge into the Gunners, because hey, I'm going to kill one of those fucking units. Oh gosh, and then my Axe unit, my Axe Horde Brick charge into the Death Wheels, and the Trolls not really able to do anything else this game. They turn to face the wheels in case it goes into turn 7. That's really it. I move my Flagger away to be inspiring for the Trolls next turn, and I move my God Speaker in such a way that he can fire his, I think, Fireball into the And then a blight unit, maybe wavering them, unlikely, but hey, why not? And that's it. I've got no other tricks. Magic phase isn't that great. My trolls, I wasn't able to regen either of the wounds that were left on them. And on the orc horde, or I'm sorry, the axe horde, I was only able to heal 1, which I guess is better than none, but ouch. And because my flagger didn't have anything else to do, he used his healing charm on the trolls and was able to heal the 1 wound they had on them, which probably isn't going to help them a whole lot. Well, what can you do? We go into combat, and I throw all my attacks into the death engine on the right there, and I think I do like 12 wounds to him, but I don't think it's enough to make it break. I think I roll piss poor on his nerve test, which is heart-wrenching. Combat over here isn't terrible. Even hindered, I'm able to put 12 wounds through on this horde brick. It's not enough to break him. It's not enough to even waver him. I mean, it's still a horde brick. They're somewhere in the 20s, and I'm rolling like butt. Well, when it comes to nerve checks. But all in all, can't complain. Wish I had done better, wish I had played better, but it felt good to put 12 wounds on this unit. This combat goes really well. My Morax unit is just amazing and is able to put 10 wounds through on the gunners. I was really shocked, which caused them to break in the nerve check and securing me those points, which was really cool. In the end, I just kind of thunder twist them to the left a little bit. Not like they're going to be able to do anything else this game, but a little regiment of slaves and a little regiment or troop of shooty guys. I can't say that these guys were wasted. Maybe a little bit, but still pleased with them. So it's winding down now. Here's bottom of 6 after moving, and by winding down, I mean death nails. My trolls up top there, as you can see, are getting just annihilated. I believe he charges his characters into my Orclings up top there that were into the shock troops before. His blight and shock troops charge my trolls, which means they're screwed. His gunners on the top right there, I believe they just turn to face my Moraxes just in case there is a turn 7. And both of his death engines slam back into my horde of axe. And I think that's it for movement. Subtlety is thrown out the window here, and we go straight into combat. His 2 remaining warlocks beat the Ever-Loving Tar out of my Orclings. There's 8 points of damage on them. There's no inspire. Well, there is an inspiring round, but I think they're like a 10-13 or 10-12. It's not going to be hard for him to roll and scare them off the table. And I don't have any ill will towards these guys. They did amazing. They do run away, destroy, disappear, whatever you want to call it. They are no longer part of the horde, and it's sad. They did amazing this game, so I don't have any problems with them running away after this. Right here, yeah, remember the trolls that were perfectly healthy? Not so much anymore. 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 16, 17 wounds. Come on, dice gods, let me see some snake eyes. Oh, no more snake eyes. I have used my allotted amount of snakes. And yeah, the trolls are obliterated, and it's sad. I would say that they're fertilizing that forest, but let's face it, troll fertilizer is probably not the fertilizer you want to be using. And just because it's cool formation, that's the way they lined up afterwards, just in case there's a turn 7. This was disheartening, though. His Doom engines go just psychopath this turn. And 3, 6, 9, 12, 14 wounds on these guys. And he rolls a 10 on the dice. The axe are gone. I did have Inspiring, they re-rolled it, and he did it again. Just really disappointing. But I think I underutilized them big time anyway. And just terrible dice rolls. I'm disgusted. But I'm going to take full blame on this one and keep using the unit because eventually I've got to figure him out. But there it is. There's the end of the game. And what looked like it might be a closer game turned into a wholesale slaughter. I don't have much left on the table. In fairness, either does he. I'm not exactly disappointed with how I performed this game, but I did see where I made some, well, tremendous mistakes, to say the least. And I also saw where I could make some serious improvements. So, all in all, no, this is definitely not a bad game. I enjoyed the hell out of it. But all in all, I think I'm going in the right direction. I think I'm learning. And eventually, I hope I'll be good at this game. But that's going to do it for this one. We'll get to the recap in a minute, because this game is over.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
So, yeah, this was a huge defeat for Lord Tremendous. I ended up getting 810 points out of him. He got 1,265 out of me for a difference of 455. Believe it or not, we did roll to see what kind of mission we'd play for this game, and it was kill points. So he beat me fair and square. Hell of a game. Beyond a shadow of a doubt, I definitely got my butt kicked in this game, and I'm fine with that. I'm slowly but surely learning more on how to play. Not only my army, but how it all works, how it functions, how it flows. I have a lot to learn, and I'm enjoying the hell out of learning it. So, yeah. One of the first things I learned about this from this game, though, is that heart piercers suck ass. They're garbage. I won't be fielding them again. I still want to use the Hydra. It's cool. Somebody suggested that I use a Beast of War, and I might try that. I'm actually toying with the idea very much. And then probably going like fire elementals instead of anything else. There is a Vanguard unit whose name eludes me right now, but I definitely might switch over to the Beast of War because I can still use the Hydra model from Cyborg. I think it's Cyborg? No, Mirror's Miniatures is where I bought it from. So, yeah, I'm excited about that. And the Morax unit definitely got underutilized. I'm going to have to use them better. I need something for my flanks. Maybe I'll break down the Gore Riders into 2 units of 5 just for flank protection. I don't know. A lot to think about. It was cool to see how the Ratman function in this game, the Ratkin, whatever you want to call him. It's different. It's very, very different. I did not expect them to be that tough in close combat. I didn't expect them to be that tough in Magic. I didn't expect them to be tough, and I was horribly mistaken. How about those snake eyes for nerve checks, huh? 3 in 1 game. Somebody do the math and get me the numbers on what the percentile of that ever happening again is going to be. I definitely need to be more aggressive and learn how to bait better. I think I'm using my Orclings wrong. I got to figure that out. But I think once I get it dialed in, my army is pretty solid. I'm not really sure. But you know what? I'm loving this game so far, so I'm willing to keep on getting my teeth kicked down my throat until I figure it out. This was a terrific game. Really enjoyed it a lot. It was really solid. It wasn't like I had to chase him around or anything. He met me in close combat, and he kicked my ass. My opponent was a terrific rat opponent, which I fully expected from Gnome Runner, and I 100% am looking forward to our rematch, which hopefully will happen before 2018. We'll see. But that's going to do it for this battle report. Number 3 from my Kings of War series is currently in the history books. As always, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or complaints, feel free to put them in the comments section below, and I will get back to you as quick as I can. But yeah, guys, thanks.